Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is Saturday morning, and I tell you, it's been an eventful couple of days. On Thursday, the palace released a statement saying that King Charles had an adverse reaction to his ongoing cancer treatment and was taken to hospital for observation. He was brought home. He didn't stay, and he went by car, not by ambulance, and that everything was fine. But the statement itself was interesting, that it had even been prepared, and the fact that there was an embargo. The statement was given to the press, but there was an embargo on it till after 6 o'clock, which I presume after the king was already back at Clarence House and everything was fine. So they want you to think like, oh, we just let you know what's going on. Nothing to see here, folks. But I tend to differ. The statement itself is interesting, because we all kind of remember, even though we didn't know it was the bone cancer at the time, we all remember the kind of statements we were getting out of Buckingham Palace when the Queen was very ill. And indeed, on the Thursday, September 8th, was it, that she died, the palace released a statement at noon saying they were concerned for her health. Now, this statement, it's kind of interesting. And I have it here on my phone. I'm going to read you the palace's full statement of the events on Thursday. Here we go. Quote, following scheduled and ongoing medical treatment for cancer this morning, the king experienced temporary side effects that required a short period of observation in hospital. His Majesty's afternoon engagements were therefore postponed. His Majesty has now returned to Clarence House, and as a precautionary measure, acting on medical advice, tomorrow's diary program will also be rescheduled. It goes on, quote, His Majesty would like to send his apologies to all of those who may be inconvenienced or disappointed as a result. The side effects have forced the king to cancel a series of engagements scheduled for Friday in Birmingham. While some minor adjustments to his diary are possible in the short term, the palace is confident that there will be no significant disruptions in his schedule. Sources indicate that while the king's schedule for the next week may be slightly altered, his planned state visit to Italy, set for the week after next, is still expected to go ahead as planned. The king traveled to and from the hospital by car and was not accompanied by Queen Camilla, who had been carrying out her own engagements in Wembley, northwest London, earlier in the day. Now, that's it. And, it really doesn't sound like a lot. But, I mean, we do have to remember he's, 76? Something like that, 76, 77 years old. He's been suffering with cancer and we understand still under treatment. And then you hear on Dan Wootton's program, Lady Colin Campbell, saying that it's worse than we think, it's worse than they're saying, his cancer is incurable. Who do we believe? Now, Lady Colin does have a certain level of, she's got an inside track to royal goings-on through her associations. Do I believe everything she says? Well, But keep in mind, too, that when the Queen was very ill, Lady C was making, kind of hinting at the bone cancer, which we found out after was, she was suffering with. Lady Colin in some of her shows, she would say things like, oh yeah, and to the bone, and just a turn of a phrase, but kind of hinting. Not many people really caught on to it, but so she does have an inside track. And if so, the king is not well, which means they didn't know what was going to happen when he went to the hospital. They drafted a statement to put out just in case and put an embargo on it to ensure that it wasn't released until he was back home safe and sound and they kind of knew what was going on. Because you see, and this is an example of just the way the Palace operates and the way the Palace planners operate. Just translated to, oh, good grief, the problems with Harry. This is a perfect example of when you're out of the Palace loop and they're carefully crafted statements and management. Harry's a tetherless jackass. It's just running rampant right now, and it's showing. He's got nobody to protect him. The Palace can't run spin for him anymore. And all of his sort of crimes, I don't mean like literal crimes, although there could be, but we don't. I'm just saying his antics, okay? They're all coming to light. They're all coming to light, from his visa troubles, African parks we know now, the implosion of Centibelli. There's all kinds of questions surrounding Invictus, and a lot of people have left. There's been talk about the Grafton money issues that we now see have been going on with his other charities. They're just using it as a slush fund. And a lot of us have been know this and have been saying this for years, really, and this is why they're doing things this way. Yeah. So, and apparently what they were saying, I saw yesterday, that Harry was not in the loop about his father's visit to the hospital. He learned about it on the news, just like everybody else. Nobody in the Palace told him anything. So, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. He and Meghan are, despite the look, with all her publicity that she's getting now, and Lemonada, and another batch of With Love Meghan, and jam that can't be sold because there's no nutritional information on the labels, none of the legal stuff, where's the fruit is sourced from, ingredients even. And, the breakdown, the nutritional breakdown, those are laws. She can't sell this stuff like that. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. She, just like she cosplays Diana, just like she cosplays Gwyneth Paltrow with the necklace, just like she cosplays Catherine. Nothing is real. It's all an illusion. She can't do anything. She'll never sell anything. The only thing that she's got schlepping is other people's products. She's a parasite. She's got to make a living as a 2-bit influencer promoting other people's clothing and accessories. And she gets a minor cut. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic, and this is what she's chasing fame for. Well, and her and Harry have run out of favor with everyone, it seems, across the planet. They're despised. They've been shunned by Hollywood, shunned by the celebrities, shunned by the political class. But they're just well enough known to keep themselves in the public eye. But they're getting more and more known and recognized for their graft and for their insincerity and for their fakeness, really. You know, it's their life is a friggin' fairy tale. None of it's real. And they're projecting, just like, we get with Love Megan. Not her house, not her kitchen, not her garden, not her bees, not her friends, not her recipe. Psh, this is all you can expect out of these guys. And this newest Megan and Gwyneth little 30-second Instagram thing that Gwyneth put up, they're both represented by WME. Gwyneth's got a movie coming out in December. This would be great little publicity for the both of them. That's all it is. It's a business arrangement. Much like Harry and Meghan's wedding at this point, marriage at this point. So they're imploding as predicted. But back to the king. So what's really going on? If you have looked at my playlist, King Charles III is Life Imitating Art, there's all kinds of things in there that you gotta see because it's happening. And I've always predicted that about now, a little over 2 years into his reign, that we were going to be seeing the back end of Charles due to William and basically pushing him off, forcing him off the throne. And I was saying this before we even had a cancer diagnosis from the king. So it's not like I'm trying to weave something here. I was saying this before we had the news that the king was suffering from cancer. And I always said what it was going to be is there was going to be a convergence of events that rendered the king so unpopular that the public would turn against him, and this would be the opportunity for William to force him off the throne. And since we've had the cancer diagnosis, I said, I still stick by what I'm saying. This is what's going to happen. But now they've got a handy excuse to use the cancer as an excuse. An old man with cancer, yeah, you'd maybe want to retire, and it would make sense to step down if it was impeding with your ability to perform your duties, right? And we're thinking, is that where we're at now? But there's also the other part of what I've been saying, that the public's going to turn. Look at what this month. We're in Lent. It's Easter. He is the head of the Church of England. He represents the Church of England. So what do we get from the king? What do we get from the king? Pictures of him and Camilla packing dates in little packages for the after the fast Ramadan. He makes a public statement to the Muslims about Ramadan and praising Islam. Where the hell is he for his Christians? What's going on? Some people have even surmised that he's privately become a Muslim. I don't know. I have nothing to base that on. This is something I heard. And I've been saying this for a while. He's failing his Christians. The Church of England is in just a mess. But all favor from the government, from the king, is going to the Muslims. I'm just saying, as the head of the Church of England, he's remiss in his responsibility, okay? So that's another thing. We've got a very interesting dynamic going on with Trump in charge in America, the tariffs that he's imposing on not only here in Canada but in Britain, and there's, Trump derangement syndrome has spread worldwide. And the king has to provide a delicate balance between just accepting. It's like his duty. He's going to meet Trump. Trump is coming. We know Trump loves the royal family. But the king is all in with the World Economic Forum. He is a member. He is a climate crisis zealot. Zealot, yeah, because it's a religion. False religion, but which Trump is not. Some of his MPs in government are saying we should not entertain Trump. As the head of state and Trump as the leader of America, you have to talk to this guy. And most of the government realizes this. And so this responsibility falls to the king. This one thing alone is enough to divide society and turn him against the king, let alone everything else. So we have a weak king, physically, morally, intellectually weak king. And we have William that's been looking more and more statesman-like every day. Are we closing in on the time that William's going to make his move and Charles is going to abdicate? I think we're getting closer. All the signs are there, folks. We just have to keep watching and see what happens. I'd love to know what you think about this. Leave me your comments. Like, subscribe, share this video. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.